All right, here we go. This is making a web here of shows that I watch and have watched that I would highly recommend people watch. And interestingly enough, I'm going to try my best to make connections, which I find very interesting. And I'm going to go into detail about why I'm making connections. But these shows are all very interesting, and they all fit my preferences and things that I like. And just the type of person that I am and the mindset that I have, I find it a synchronicity that from one thing to another, without knowing this, everything just seems to fall in place. And it starts to make a lot of sense. It's not all over the place. It's not scattered. I can literally find connections. It's like the perfect synchronicity because I truly define my interests and my preferences. And when that's definitive, the universe will send you signs and whatever, just the way things will work in your life will work perfectly and according to, logic and common sense. They will all seem to synchronize in a very interesting way. So these are all shows that are very, interesting shows, very fun, very entertaining. Writing is fantastic. All of which are things that I'm, a part of myself and like have am a huge fan of, like, clever writing and interesting plots and things like that. Good character development, and of course they're all, amazing genres. So I'm going to be trying to link these shows together as best as I can, order from first to last. So let's go to my web here. On my web, I have, starting, Terra Nova. From Terra Nova, I believe one of the second shows that I watched was Person of Interest. From Person of Interest, I remember I started watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Then I started watching Arrow about the time that came out. Of course, Arrow sparked The Flash. Started watching The Flash. After The Flash, it was around, I think, that time. I forget if Minority Report came out before or after Legends, but I remember. There's a show. I'm missing a show here. Just a moment. APB. Okay. I started recording. I didn't fully have this all set up. I forgot. APB was another show. Okay, just put that there, whatever. It's a weird web that I got right now. I didn't really realize how much space I would have had and how many shows I was getting. Alright, so then after, somewhere around in between watching these shows, Arrow and The Flash, I'm pretty sure, and I, probably correct me if I'm wrong, that's why I have the Wikipedia up. If I go to The Flash came out in 2014. I believe the next thing that came out before... Right, Minority Report came out in 2015. I know I was watching that before this, yep. Timeless was 2016. So yeah, so I have it about right. So Minority Report, then Legends came out. Do I have that right? Yeah, about right. January 21st, 2016. Yep, so that came out before Legends. This came out after Legends. APB came out May 16th. So yes, interesting. Yeah, so Minority Report, then Legends, then from Legends started watching Timeless, which was cool because they both dealt with time travel and they're both fantastic shows. And then from Timeless to APB, so that was very interesting. And then you have these three shows. Oh, fuck, I forgot. Of course, I can't believe I did that. I knew I was forgetting something again. I'm gonna have to restart this fucking video all over again. Fucking Prison Break. Idiot. Alright. Ah, fucking hell. Yeah, from August. But this is the interesting thing about Prison Break. This is why I messed that up. I forgot about it. Alright. Interesting thing about Prison Break is because even though it came out before a lot of these, I had never seen it. And I think it was before. I'm trying to remember now. Oh fuck! This is the one part of it that I'm confused about. If and this is the reason why, it's because of the connection. I'm trying to remember now, because we got so many shows in this thing here that I um what was it? Believe the synchronicity here. Prison Break I watched before. I found that. Oh, okay, no, I remember. Okay. Legends had come out, and it was like the first season, and my mom and I were watching it, and she had told me about this show, Prison Break, that she's found on TV one day, and she was watching it and like really was, intrigued by it and really interested her. And she said, "You might like it. It has the two actors from Legends in it." And this was Legends was still very new, very new. Interestingly enough, we both started watching it and started watching it from the first season, and we fell in love with it, found it to be a phenomenal, fantastic show, and we started watching ever since. And it was pretty interesting because around the time that this had happened, from Legends to Minority Report to Timeless and then to APB, we had heard that they were coming out. We had just finished, literally, not even kidding you, around 2016 into 2017, which is this year, we had just finished watching all of Prison Break, and it was this. We had already finished like the first season or second season of Legends. I think Legends is in its. I'm being an idiot right now. Legends is it? Why is what? Why is gaming and walkthroughs? The fuck is that? What I did? Is that what that fucking? Jesus Christ! I don't know what the hell was going on. I was doing this and like all this shit was happening. Legends of Tomorrow. That is in its third season. Yes. Okay. We had just finished. It was around the second season, and so we had just finished watching Prison Break, and they announced that they were coming out with a new season of Prison Break, season 7, and it blew our minds. It was amazing. It was like, oh my, like it's this show that we thought had ended, that we caught, that came out in 2005, was coming out again, and it was so fantastic because we were watching the dynamic of the two actors, the one who plays McRory and Leonard Snart in DC's. We're just watching. It's phenomenal. It's fantastic. And we'd already fallen in love with those characters from The Flash. It was just a really, really great thing. So that was cool. So so that's the timeline for me. So then from something. No. All right. So then from Prison Break to back to Legends, and then just between Timeless. So this is interesting. So now most of these shows or seasons have ended, and then recently in this year where I'm at now, where I'm making this, because they just announced these 3 shows. And the reason why I'm doing this web is because at this point in time already, APB Minority Report was canceled. Terra Nova was the first one to be canceled in this list. Canceled long ago, terminated. It was terrible. We watched this to completion. And they ended it. They ended it phenomenally. So that had already ended. This was still picking back up. These things had just started. APB has now been canceled. Minority Report was canceled. Timeless was canceled, and then they renewed it, and now it's coming back for a new season in 2018. So right about now, I'm waiting for this show to pick up in its new season. We're right now in the middle of these shows' seasons, and we're waiting for this to come back. This has now ended, and now we have these 3 shows we're waiting for. At least I'm waiting for. So here's where I start making the interesting connections. So as far as genre, now there's some obvious things we can do to connect these shows, like genre. They're time travel and technology. We can put those things together, but there are certain interesting aspects, things that on the surface most people wouldn't think to connect, but I'm going to go into them as a connection because they're a connection for me, which is something I find very interesting. So first off, let's just look here and look at some of the producers, and let's see if we can find any producers stand out. So I'm just going to briefly look over. I'm going to put Terra Nova up first. And then let's say look at Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Let's look at these producers. See if I see any. Nothing yet. So show up on Rick. Am I recording still? Okay, it's weird. Editors, see. So no similarity there, but there could be similarities in some of the other things here. Let's see if Terra Nova shares any connection with some of these producers. It's really hard to look at this, try to be looking at these names and trying to just remember them. But I know for a fact there is a connection. There's obviously a connection between Arrow, Flash, like a given. So let's start the web with a given. I should have done that already. A given is that we have some connection here. And some of the connections are that, for example, start with green for Arrow. Arrow has a connection to the Flash. Okay, Gateway, which, mind you, has a connection to Legends, and Legends back to Arrow. All of these shows connect. These three shows connect. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to start off with, let me just do some other connections that I know of right now, just for which were very interesting. Terra Nova was canceled a long time ago. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was a show that I was watching, and I love Terra Nova. I love the people in it. It's a fantastic, phenomenal show. At one point in time in the new season, one of the actors that I was very curious about, because I really loved the show, and I thought Jason O'Mara was fantastic, and I really loved his presence and his character on Terra Nova, and I wanted to see him in other things. And it was one of the first time that from one show to another, I found some connection, and similarity, and it started to make me wonder about a lot of my preferences and likes and dislikes, and how some of these shows seem to have ties to one another. Either, the editors or writers or producers are producing or editing, writing other shows, or they have friends, or they admire these shows, or they make references to some shows, or they take inspiration, whatever it may be. I've noticed a lot of synchronicities and connections that go beyond, what most people would look at on the surface. But right from the beginning, an actor... Why did that just turn red? Why did that turn red? Okay, stay green. Okay. All right, so an actor from this show. So let's do actors is going to be... How about actor be gray? Fucking annoying. All right, so an actor from this show, Jason O'Mara, appeared on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which was amazing. It was awesome. So he had a run on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it was cool to see those actors again. Similarly, we know that actors from Prison Break appeared on The Flash, and also Legends of Tomorrow. That's weird. What's going on? Let's just do a new line. And also on Legends, so that's cool. And then show Prison Break that had ended very recently. I was very astonished, and this is what sparked me to, I'm like, all right, I'm finally going to make a web. An actor from Prison Break, I'm saying Person of Interest, an actor from Person of Interest just appeared on Arrow. Okay, that was amazing. It was the Harold, the guy who played Harold. I don't know his name, but he appeared on. I can look up his name. Let's see if we go person of interest. Where is it? Person of interest. Harold Finch. Michael Emerson. Yeah, Michael Emerson. He just appeared on Arrow. But this is another thing that was interesting. Before that had happened, the actress who plays Root appeared as Greg. I'm forgetting his name now. It just appeared as Phil Coulson. Yeah. What's his actor's name? Whatever. Phil Coulson. She appeared as his love interest in that show, so that was interesting. So an actor from there to there. So that's what connects Arrow to into S.H.I.E.L.D. Isn't that interesting? Okay. All right, so that to that. And then we have the fact that, let's see. Trying to think of other actors, actresses who appeared on one show or another. Okay, so that was a connection. What else was a connection? The connection I can make. They reference, like, just because the actor's there, they mention Prison Break. Like, Mick Rory's character mentioned Prison Break, like, several times. They even did an episode where, Leonard Snart was still on the show. I believe it was like season 2 of Legends. They had to break him out of prison. So they've done several ties to this, connections to this by reference, things like that. What else? So then you have, so then you have that connection. Actors, actresses from one show to the next. Interestingly enough, again, why I like these shows is because the main star of this show, and this show follows a similar, I'm going to get into those connections later, but okay, let me just do the actress connection. Now, the actress from Person of Interest is now here, starring on this show. APB was a really cool show. And one of the actresses from that show that is now over, unfortunately. We really liked that show. She is now going to be starring in the show The Crossing, which is a very interesting show. So that's that. So cool. One show that we really like to another, the actresses whatever there. Interestingly enough, if you haven't watched Minority Report, and I watched, like I said, and I told you the order of I watched these shows, before an actor from Legend, that's now on Legends, appeared on Legends, we had seen him in Minority Report, and it was amazing. All of a sudden, the actor who now plays Citizen Steel, or Commander Steel, appeared and who is now in Legends, was in Minority Report. Played one of the twins. So there you go, another connection to that show. Actor. So that's what connects to that show. To Minority Report. Interestingly enough, Meagan Good, who stars in Minority Report, starred in a show called Deception, who was co-starred to Gray, or that half of Firestorm, the older guy with the glasses and the white hair, I don't know his name, in that. So that's kind of a cool little connection there, a little tidbit. What else? So then you have that. So far we get a lot of connection here. Oh yeah, Deception, Prison Break. An actor that we really liked, who played Sucre in Prison Break, is now starring in Deception. Vinnie Jones, who's appeared on Arrow, is also going to be starring in Deception. Let me go back here so I don't fall off trace. Yeah, so Armando Sucre from Prison Break. The actor's name is... I'm probably not going to find it here, although he was a very... I'll go to Deception because, yeah, his name is Amari Nolasco. So that's cool. Jones. All right, so we have some... I believe... Here we go. Sarah Shedder, that's a name we've seen before. Oh yeah, interestingly enough, The Crossing, I believe it is. I think it's The Crossing. Greg Berlanti is working on, I believe it's Deception, yeah. Yep, there is Greg Berlanti. So you have a connection, producer. So I'm going to make a producer connection. We should make it, what color? We'll do producer connection. So Greg Berlanti, so we have producer, okay, is now doing Deception, part of Deception. What else? I wonder if Person of Interest has had any. J.J. Abrams, to Nolan, Chris Fisher. Okay. It's going to be difficult to look through all these names. I don't know if you're watching the video, could probably help out. Fisher, I feel like I just seen that before. Didn't we just see Fisher? Was I just see a Fisher? Oh, Chris Fisher. I wonder if there's any relation. Let's see, Chris Fisher. Fisher, born American writer. Okay, let's see. I wonder if he has any relation to. That was what I see Fisher. Right? That was Mickey Fisher. There's Mickey Fisher. When I just see that. Sarah Shedder, though. David Nutter, those names seem familiar. So right now it's hard to like look at these names and like try to remember them. So I'm just taking names that stand out to me, because that means like over time keep looking at them to start to stand out to me. So let's see. Yeah, Brett Ratner, and J.J. Abrams, they've done a lot of things that I've liked. Paul Shearing, so that's another cool connection. I'm not seeing much here. That's what Prison Break. Oh yes. Oh, I forgot. Also, Prison Break, one of the actors who played, let me go back to Gray. One of the actors on Prison Break, what the fuck? I clicked off. Okay, one of the actors on Prison Break, who played, fuck's his name? I'm trying to think of his name now. He played like he was like a pedophile or sex offender, and he was like a psychopath, but he ended up having like a really amazing character arc. Fucking awesome character. Actor is really pretty cool. He also starred on Arrow. And I think on Arrow he also was on The Flash. So you have that connection again as well. So right off the bat you can see that there's just a lot of connections. There's definitely a connection between these shows, undeniably. Connection between Flash, Arrow, Legends, those writers, producers, Prison Break. And already, seeing as how these shows, make connections to one another, in many ways they all seem the point is they're all connected. They all seem to be connected. It's just very interesting. And again, you can take the basic stuff, like, I can do a basic color and connect them by genres, and something like time travel, dealing with time travel and portals, so Terra Nova, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., no, not Minority Report, Legends, Timeless, Reverie, The Crossing, The Flash. You have a lot of time travel, portal stuff. As far as like government conspiracy, government cover up, you have Prison Break, Person of Interest, Terra Nova, Agents of Shield, Arrow. What else? Sort of APB, Minority Report, Timeless for sure. um, Probably going to be some of that in Crossing, maybe some of that in Reverie. But again, Minority Report. And then you have like, you can point out technologies. There's a lot of interesting connections from one of these shows to the other. Police shows, you know, advanced police shows, APB, Agents of Shield, Person of Interest, with, you know, monitoring and technology and, you know, data like, you know, facial recognition and those types of things. Minority Report is another one. So there's a connection. It's so cool. There's just this incredible connection between all these shows. There really is. I mean, I can do so much more to connect these shows, but I just wanted to make a small video showing this web of connection between all of these shows. And it's very interesting how a lot of actors and actresses from one of these shows will suddenly pop up and appear on others, which is very interesting. So that's cool. And there's probably some that I've missed, but you know, yeah, it's just very interesting how these actors and actresses pop up on these shows. Now you might be wondering, you know, some of these, you know, like Timeless, they don't have as many connections as the others. Like, you know, what connections do they have? You know, they still seem to be missing. You know, they're not as connected. In fact, I don't even think I connected Timeless that much to some of these other shows. These at least all have one connection or so. So some of the shows that aren't connected as much, you might be thinking, yeah, like Terra Nova. Right. There's probably, I think there was an actress from Terra Nova. There's a few actors or actresses who were on other shows here. Oh, man, there's so many other shows like Monk. Monk is another show. I'm wondering like how that connects. Monk, there was like other... I have this like huge... If I just went over all the shows that I watch, basically, but I do highly recommend these shows, and I would highly recommend that before you watch... if you haven't seen any of these shows at all, I would highly recommend that you watch Terra Nova first, just because maybe because it doesn't have as much connection as the other shows. I would highly recommend you watch Terra Nova first, Person of Interest, watch every season of Prison Break, every season, even the new one. Okay? Watch all of Agents of Shield. Actually, no. Yeah, watch Terra Nova first. Finish it. Watch all of Person of Interest. Finish it. Watch all of Prison Break. Finish it. Then watch Timeless. Then watch Minority Report. Then watch APB. Finish all of that. Then watch Agents of Shield. Finish it. Then watch Arrow. And then when you start watching Arrow, the moment they introduce the Flash, start watching the Flash and Arrow back to back, and then in the crossover, so that you're part of that connection. Okay, and it'd be fucking amazing. I'm telling you, it'd be such an experience. Then once you start watching the Flash and Arrow side to side, start watching Legends of Tomorrow. The moment it picks up, the moment that the Legends characters picked up, and then you have that crossover, and then you start watching that. Boom, back to back, back and forth. Now you're watching Arrow, Flash, and Legends up until modern day. Okay? Now you're caught up. Now the only things you're watching is Arrow, Flash, and Legends, waiting for these to come out. I'm telling you. But just because of that, you're going to have such an amazing fucking experience. Having watched all these other shows and then watching these, it's just going to be such an amazing feeling. Like drawing... I'm telling you, you're going to experience an incredible synchronicity. And if you don't, then I don't know what to tell you. But just between like the connections and the themes of the shows and what you learn from one show to another, you're going to experience such an incredible character arc and development and story, and you're going to be so entertained. You're going to be so thoroughly entertained. It's going to feel good. You're going to feel really good watching these shows and just, anticipating what's going to happen. And you will pick up on key strategies very interesting strategies. I think these are some of the strongest shows. If you want to be able to watch any TV show and do what I do and be able to immediately guess who the bad character is, immediately know what's going to happen next, be able to spoil shows that you've never seen before, 5 minutes in. Not that you spoil them, but you'll just have such an incredible background of creative writing and character development and character arc and twist writing and techniques and different things. You will be able to pick up on how TV shows are written. No matter what TV show you watch, you will be able to understand it. You will be able to know what's going to happen. But you will still, in a way that you will still be thoroughly entertained. You will be constantly on the edge of your seat guessing. And another reason why I would suggest doing that is because even if you have such an incredible background and you can predict things, you will be stumped. You will be absolutely mind blown and stumped, and you will love it even more because Arrow has stumped me so many times. As good as I am, I can watch movies, TV shows, things that I've never seen before and immediately know what's going to happen. It's always the same in a way. Arrow has stumped me so many fucking times, and they've done an amazing job at it. And The Flash, I mean, these shows are such an interesting way that they write, and such incredible character development and arcs and stuff like that. It's really, really cool. So I highly recommend watching these shows because you're going to be very thoroughly entertained once you start watching other shows. If you bounce back and forth from themes, if you don't have any preferences or tastes, you're not someone I'm trying to speak to. I'm trying to speak to people who know their preferences, know their tastes, and who already are coming from some form of a similar background, starting point. So very interesting, and there's a lot of other shows that I can put on here. If I go over and I'm going to be making a video about all the shows and movies I watch, as well as I'm trying to catalog all the TV shows and movies that I've ever seen on Pinterest, because it's very easy. And the reason why I'm using Pinterest, because I can do this, for example, as you can see here, I go up and I can save, right? So I can save a pin, and I have some movies and TV shows I've seen. So it's just a catalog. All you need to see is the photo. It's like, oh, I've seen that show. And then, of course, they'll link you to other, things like this, wherever I get the photos from. But anytime I watch a movie now, I watch movies on this amazing website. Highly recommend this website. Watch anything for free. So that's amazing. And then also another website I highly recommend is mywatchseries.2. It's a XWatch. They always change it because, whatever. But it's fine. Once you get the right page, stick with it, because even when it changes, you'll always have it. So this is an amazing website. You can binge watch pretty much anything. Oh yeah, Westworld is another series I watched recently. There's just all kinds of cool stuff, you can get in on. But yeah, pretty much fuck. Yeah, you can pretty much watch anything here. So on here, what I do is, on the movie thing and the TV show thing, anytime I watch something, finish a series, I've seen all of it, I will add it to my Pinterest list. So I'm making these lists because I want to have a catalog of all the movies and TV shows I've ever seen. And the reason why is because it's just part of my background, part of a lot of, I do draw a lot of inspiration, but it's already, and the reason why I want a catalog of all the things I've ever seen or cared to see is because I already have a natural instinct. I have an energy and an inspiration and a mindset, and I watch things that relate to my inner self, my inner being, and it's very interesting to be a part of the synchronicity and like be able to enjoy forms of entertainment that follow paths that I find interesting or I deem appropriate or necessary for some type of learning curve, or they interest me or they apply to the real world in some way, so have deeper meaning, subliminal messages. So I do like these shows, and so I draw a lot of inspiration, and one day I want to have a catalog to look back. And so because shows are they're such a huge important thing, and I think at one point we're going to face a history, we're in one point in the future, people are going to use people's television shows, people's interests, likes and dislikes to determine who they are and their mindset and their thought processing and just the level of their abilities, how they relate, how do they reflect to their shows. So I want this because it tells a story about who I am, You know, everything I've ever seen, they're all just like all the music I have. I'm gonna make videos about all the music that I've collected because these are things that speak to me and things that are, you know, emanating as you know, from me as a part of my conscious connectivity to the world and to things that I, you know, like and whatever. So again, it's just all like a big message. You know, you put them all together, they all transcend to mean something more than, you know, what you think they mean on the surface. And that's a part of me. And so I think it's very important that one day, you know, just like collecting rocks or collecting sticks, you know, I want to collect, you know, movies. I want to collect videos and things that I've seen because I find them very interesting and very important to judge. You know, you can use these, you know, judge me by these shows. You know, they're very important. The types of actions, the types of reactions, the characters, the stories, the universes, the possibilities, you know, the weapons, the tactics, anything. You break it down any way. Break down anything in any very specific way or any broad or vague way from any of these shows. You know, all of these combined tell a story and play to my character as a human being. And so that's what TV shows do for people, and that's what movies do for people, and I'm sure a lot of people don't realize that. So the reason why I wanted to make this video, make this this connection, is because, you know, like I said, I want a catalog. I want to make a catalog and connection to show one day, have memory of all the synchronicity that I was a part of, and you know, and because all of these things that are part of someone's life, they're important. They become a part of you if you involve them in your life. And so they must have something to do with you. And so, you know, that's just the way I see it. I feel like, you know, if you were to try to analyze and critique and make connections to all of these shows in order to, you know, figure something out, you know, you get a piece of who I am as a person. And that's interesting, or at least my thought process, or my higher mind. So I think it's pretty interesting. You know, people are, you know, it's just what we watch is a reflection of us in some either minute form or some major form, whether they be a way to, you know, alleviate our angst and desire to be a certain way, or to go a certain place, or to do or see certain things for whatever reason. You know, there's so many reasons why we subject ourselves to certain forms of entertainment, because they have to speak to us on a certain way. And a lot of people on the surface, you know, try to play the role of being, you know, like as if they're the everyman, but they're not. You know, they're too split, they're too separate, they're too divided. And, you know, not many people have, you know, precise preferences or actually get to know themselves on a deeper inner level, understanding of self and the world around them, to be able to actually define what their tastes are and to know what they mean and how they transcend their life. So that being said, you know, I find it very interesting to collect and catalog all the things I've ever watched. Another reason why is because I'm still a very young guy, and I've seen so many fucking movies and TV shows, and this is just a very, very, very small portion of that, but I've seen so many movies and TV shows that so many people have not seen, and they could be from any era. I watch movies as far back as the 20s and 30s. I've seen things that so many people haven't seen in one lifetime or didn't have enough time to see. I've seen movies from my dad and my mom's generation, even my aunts and uncles and even grandparents' generations, that they had never had time to see, you know, and it's amazing. I've seen so many incredible things. You know, movies are just an hour to 2 hours long. You can fit in like 2-3 movies a day. You know, TV shows you watch, you know, the way they come out. And then of course, you know, if it's a TV show you want to watch, you've never seen before, you know, you look it up and you binge watch it. You know, you watch the hell out of it. So I've been able to, using the internet and using these free services, which is what I highly recommend you do, you can literally go back and watch anything. You can look at this, look how amazing this site is. Countries, you can, any movie from anywhere in the world. You want to be cultural, you want to be, you know, whatever, watch movies from other countries. You know, what about, you know, other countries? And then if, you know, languages, whatever, you can go by year. They go all the way back to 1920. That's fucking phenomenal. Featured. So these are movies that are out on DVD quality. So anything in cinema is being recorded. So cinema is the movie just came out or is currently out in theaters or has been out for a while but has not yet gone to DVD. And so movies like this that have been out for a while now, that are probably far past theaters, they're waiting on DVD. So if you watch one of these movies, chances are the quality is going to suck in cinema category. Very, 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 very rarely have I ever found anything, or will you find anything in cinema quality that is actually DVD. And that could just because, they just put it in DVD and they haven't moved to featured yet. Or the other thing is you find movies that are in good or decent quality of recording that aren't even out yet in theaters. I've seen that before. I've seen movies pop up on this page that aren't even out yet in theaters. I remember I watched a big Hollywood AA title movie that was 3 months before theaters, and it was in fucking DVD quality. It was amazing. I don't know how they got it. Anyways, so, and here you go, and then you got, all genres as usual, and then, just movies is the whole, you click movies, it's pretty much all of this. Everything underneath all of these categories, when you click movies, it just opens up all of that. So you might be thinking, oh, well, 2,497, that's, pages, that's not a lot. You do the math. It's actually, there's a lot of movies on this site. You have a 5x3 each page. So you got 15 movies a page. 15, would it be times? Or divided by? I forget. It would be, how many times does 15 go into 204? Right? Would it be that? No, it would be times. Yeah, I don't know. Fucking not like in the math mood, right? Fucking math. But anyways, it's a lot of movies. 15, I think it'd be 15 times 2,497. Let's do it right now. 15 times, I'll just calculate. 15 times 2,497. So 37,455 movies. Now, I know that much of that, that doesn't seem like a lot, and much of that is, B movies or even CD movies, and it seems very disproportionate to in a larger scale of mainstream movies and every American movie that's ever placed. I'm not saying that every movie that was ever made was on here. I don't claim that at all. But a whole hell of a lot of movies are on here. And, at least for the past couple decades or so, you will pretty much find every movie that had come out. If you're looking for an American movie, if you're looking for movies that are produced in the United States, I'm pretty sure you will find just about every movie that has ever... what the fuck? Okay, well, that's not a good sign. That is not good at all. Why can't you... What the fuck? What in the flying fuck? That's not good. Whatever. That's okay. It doesn't matter because we already know that American movies are on here. I don't know why the United States page. Anyways... don't be deceived, but there are a shit ton of American-made movies on here. You can find them. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So there's a lot of fucking movies on here. A whole hell of a lot of movies. Of course, not everything, but 37,000 fucking movies. I wonder if that's a bigger catalog than like Netflix or any of that shit. Let's see. How many movies are on Netflix total? Netflix had 6,494 movies and 1,609 TV shows in its U.S. catalog in January. What's another thing people watch is Amazon Prime. Has 4 times Netflix movie lineup. Amazon Prime offered 18,000. So what you'd be paying for all of that shit, you can go get it for free and watch pretty much any fucking movie you want for free on this website. So hopefully they don't take this website down. Whatever. All right, well, that's that. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of connection. I'm sure there's a lot of connection between these shows. I'm not gonna go over every freaking name, but I'm sure some of these names pop up in other things. But again, there's so many different connections I can make to all these shows. All right, so that's that. Thanks for watching.